in the cabbage.
Well, let's get it.
Test.
Yeah, we're live.
Welcome to In the Cabbage. This is crazy.
This is pretty bananas right now that we're actually doing this.
I'm Tommy Swain, Andrew Witt. Please subscribe, please listen, please download, like. And just a reminder, keep swinging. Welcome back to In the Cabbage. I'm your boy, Tommy Swain. To my right, or your left, Andrew Witt.
What up?
We are back for another one. Back on the couch, back on the grind. Feels good.
Feels great. Feels right.
Feels
really right, and it feels we've said it a couple times before. If we're not having the best day, or something's going on, it's getting a little crazy, whatever, something's dragging in your life, I don't know. I'm never like, it's always one of those things like, wow, I gotta go record. It's like, it is a lot.
Right.
But when we're doing it, it feels right.
It feels like,
Feels right at home.
Getting the cabbage a bit here. It feels like, even though we're not making any money from this yet, but it feels like we're doing something productive outside of our jobs that helps me motivate myself.
Sure.
When I feel, like you said, feel down. Like just a side project or something like that for me, for this like thing we're doing is just nice just to do. Mm-hmm. And like learning new skills I didn't think I'd ever learn how to do.
It's fun.
Right. Like
it's also just fun. And we're talking about, a lot of it we're talking about like fun, trendy stuff. But a lot of it's, thoughts, stuff that we're working on.
Totally.
So it kind of reinforces it as well. And it's also a little check too. It's a little... it holds you accountable in a certain sense. Yeah,
because we kind of fallen into a routine now, which is...
I feel like I'm way more in tune with sports.
Yeah, I'm starting to
as a whole,
picking up on a lot more stuff here.
Like I'm ready to like absorb as much information, but also documentaries, how they go about their business.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just looking at things differently. Like I'm also when I find something very interesting, I try to like really focus in on now. Like when I hear stories or something I pick up to bring to the podcast, I always try to understand it a bit better. I'm looking at sources a bit better, which is funny enough. I didn't. That's why one of these topics popped up. We might as well get right into it. I saw an article for Caleb Williams debating not going to the NFL because he'd have to play for the Bears or the Browns or one of those teams that are awful.
Right.
And it was a fake Twitter account, so the article wasn't true. Caleb Williams never said that. But it got me thinking, like I told you earlier, Caleb Williams wouldn't be the first quarterback to deny going, to a certain team. Eli Manning did it. John Elway did it.
Which is crazy. I didn't even know that was really a thing.
Right. So essentially, it's like you say, don't draft me, first overall. And then they can just like draft you. If you do, you refuse to play. And then what? They're just going to lose their number one overall pick. No, almost always they're going to trade you.
Right. Of course.
So I was thinking like that's a ballsy play back in the day for Eli and John Elway to do that.
Especially John Elway, like the first guy to do it, like major big profile guy. That's saying a lot.
It's pretty ballsy because you don't have no backup. You probably made money in college, but not enough to like survive off of. Injuries back then were a big deal. Like if you tore your Achilles back in like even in Eli's days, like you may never come back.
Right. That's so true. You see a lot of players that tear Achilles, tear an ACL in their back in like 8 months.
Aaron Rodgers is walking currently, basically without crutches.
I did not see that.
He was walking. I mean, like he had the crutches and they were helping him, but he was not like his leg wasn't.
Yeah, hovering.
He was.
Wow.
He was putting pressure on it.
I mean, we're 3 weeks out from surgery?
Yeah, and he got the best of the best, immediate.
Of course,
everything's perfect.
Oh yeah.
Which just plays so perfectly into who he is. Like he's almost already walking.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
Like, so for me, like all this plays into it, right? Like if I was Caleb Williams and I know I'm going to the Browns, for NFL, more than anywhere else, I feel like you have to find a team that fits you. Basketball is very crucial for that, but almost always if you're on a shitty basketball team and you're their only option, iso ball the whole time.
Right, and then you're just investing more time into a prospect, and he's going to get better.
Right.
Going to touch the ball way more, take way more shots, in-game feel. Like, you know, that helps you
basketball,
out as a player.
like, has a more individual, like, aspect to it than football does.
Yeah, agreed. Totally.
Like, if you're Caleb Williams, like, the Bears suck, the line sucks, the D sucks, the quarterback coach sucks.
Bears is just
like, you're not going to.
You go sign up for the Bears, you might as well just sign your life away.
Right, there goes my career.
At the moment.
Browns,
the Bears used
way.
to be really good.
Yeah. Brian Urlacher days, Browns were just super fun to watch.
It's just dangerous. That's
I mean,
dangerous.
One of the few defensive players I've ever remembered their name of because he was just so crazy. I just think that, like, why would you sacrifice going to that type of team and not go back for your fifth year if you're Caleb Williams?
And also because of the money is a big factor in it as well.
Right. So now these guys are making money. I believe we looked this up earlier. Caleb Williams is making $2.6 million a year on NIL deals. I don't know the full aspect of what that pays out. I don't know if that's even brands or commercials. That might just be his contract with the college.
I believe it's all like sponsorships. It's not with the college. The college, is not allowed to pay you. Because I kind of went through this. I was in the beginning stages of this when I was still coaching, actually back in the day in 2019. Mm-hmm. This was kind of like starting to become a talk, starting to become a thing. And then it passed. And then I don't know when the first year went active. 21 maybe?
Yeah, I think
2021. So it didn't happen right away when I was coaching. Was not coaching anymore after that. After a couple years, I did it. I stopped in 2020, and that was really like when it was starting to surface.
Right.
The college is still not allowed to pay you because you're still going to play for their school, like to go to college, right? But you're allowed to get individual like player contract deals with these companies. People sponsor you, this kind of stuff.
Will like their clothing company sponsor you? So like if you play for the Oregon Ducks, will Nike sponsor you?
I'm not sure about that. And I don't know if it's like an affiliation, but there is a contract that is signed with the college, with the company.
Gotcha.
And so I don't know if that would break contract or, you know what I mean? Like, or does Caleb Wilson, technically fall underneath Nike because he's playing for the school? Maybe it has to be individual. I'm not too sure about that.
Right. So we'll have to do a little, maybe my buddy over here with his new handy dandy laptop will look maybe real quick.
I'm really going to like this fixture. I think it's going to be fun.
Maybe you can Google NIL deal.
Okay.
And see if that, maybe a description, a quick one for us. Let's see. But anyway, so back to what Caleb Williams was doing. He's making $2.6 million. He's playing.
Yeah, but let me hear that cash for that number one overall pick.
Right, it was
It's $47 million.
$41 million. $41 million.
$27 million signing bonus.
Yeah, that's ungodly amount of money.
Big money.
Right.
Or it's maybe they rephrase it guaranteed 27. That would make more sense.
Probably guaranteed $27 million
out of the 41,
which is still
in 4 years
a lot of money.
Oh my God. But to your credit, like to your point,
football really matters to you. It's not about the money. You're going to make that no matter what if you go to a fifth-year senior. I feel like if Caleb Williams, worst case scenario, right, let's say he makes the choice, he doesn't want to go to the Bears. He stays at USC. He has another good year. Maybe not excellent. It's a good year for him. Mm-hmm. He goes off and tears like an ACL midseason, right? And then ends up, going to the draft next year. I don't think his draft stock would drop that much farther.
If he got hurt and injured and got tore the ACL, I don't think it would actually hurt him at all, really. I think he'd stay in the top 5.
Stay in maybe top 15. They're still making the top 15 millions of dollars.
Yeah, for sure.
And you got to go to a team maybe that wasn't the Bears. And now you're at Miami. Now you're at, wherever, where you would be.
Sure.
New York. You're in whatever you want to be at. for a quarterback to thrive in.
So I agree, and I see what you're saying, because back in the day, Eli Manning, John Elway, if you guys if they tore an ACL, they would need to reassure all the coaches that they can still play at the NFL level, because everyone's like, I don't know if you're going to come back from the ACL injury
like
the same
person.
Exactly.
Like now you tear an ACL, someone's like, okay, he'll be fine. He'll just.
We just saw Breece Hall. I know he's been not so hot in the NFL recently,
right?
But we watched a game together where he tore it up for 175 yards.
Looked unreal.
And it was his opening night. It was like, this dude tore an ACL 9.5 months ago, 10 months ago.
Yeah, it's just, to me, injuries now, we were just talking about, don't matter as much.
Right.
Money, he makes $2.7 million. He wins the Heisman this year. He's one of the front runners. USC goes to the playoffs. Let's say he wins the Natty Champ this year.
And the NIL is going to be popping.
He might make $8-9 million next year. Gets to be on campus at USC for another year.
Right.
Gets to be with his coaches, his quarterbacks, his people.
And maybe you're not going to fall to the Bears again. Number one overall pick.
Then you fall to whoever, or the Bears draft you. Right, you're like, I'm going to the draft, or whatever. The Bears draft you, and now you say you have that bargaining chip, or you can yank out of the draft and go play college, or the Bears might draft and trade you. It's just more leveraging for college players, more leveraging for the individual person that I find to be great.
It's interesting and it's enticing.
I think we're going to see a lot more of that. I think you're going to see a lot of college football players.
It also gives the athlete a reason to stay. A little bit too. Right.
If you're a basketball player even, you know what I mean? You're going to go...
You could stay for a year, 2 or 3 maybe.
And you're really popular in your market. You're JJ Redick. JJ Redick would have made unlimited amount of money in college.
Sure.
And he had to stay all 5 years or whatever, how long he stayed for. 4?
Yeah, because he's not one of those top 10 guys to be drafted, right?
And maybe he would have been drafted to a team that would have just benched him and he never would have sung the court, a really bad organization.
Sure. And you also look at, let's look at the other couple quarterbacks that just got taken in the first 4 picks in the NFL. So Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson. And you got Bryce Young that got drafted first overall, went to the Carolina Panthers.
And he's not even really playing right now.
I mean, he's not playing because his team is just awful. I mean, it is just
awful.
It is just a one big garbage can pile of, shit after another. It's rough over there.
It is tough.
And then you look at CJ Stroud, and they've got a team over there around him, and he's doing way better over there. And he also went to a head coach. In my opinion, D'Amico Ryan is a pretty solid head coach.
Nice.
And then same with Anthony Richardson, went to a better team, and he was 4th overall. So I think it really is, to your point, all lining up a little bit more towards enticing that player to stay in college one more year, and kind of, if he doesn't love his situation, it makes him play on both sides. And it also is nice too to get a little bit more familiarity with the players in college. That's what I have a hard time with. These guys are just one and dones, and then they're in the NBA, and then I don't hear about them for a little while.
Right, and then or in the NFL, you go to a team, you don't perform. Quentin Johnston right now, buried. Can't find the ball, can't get the reps. And it just depends on where you go. Because maybe if he was on another team right now, he would be getting that time and reps. And I think this adds more power to the player and to the athlete, especially in college. And it can help people out a lot. And I'm all for it.
I guess it's tough, though, once you start falling outside the top 3, you don't really quite know where you're going to go. So, that's the only downside potentially once you start falling out of the elite top picks. But you're going to a place that's going to need you. That's why they're drafting you, though.
Right. And it's it makes sense for some. I just think it just adds so much details what Caleb Williams could do, because USC would do everything in their power to keep him one more year.
And they have all the supporters, all the connections in the world to potentially get him that money as well. I don't know if they can advocate for them.
Or the boosters, they're Caleb Williams is going to go. Can a $1 billion booster step in and throw $10 million on top of this for us?
Right. That's probably the case.
And then we'll throw you back 25% of the merch.
I just don't know if it would have to be, an investment into that company or if it's into the school through
who knows?
I'm not sure, but what I did look up over here is just basic NIL, just like a terminology. So in its simplest form, name, image, and likeness. That's what NIL stands for.
Beautiful.
Right? So it obviously...
Jerseys.
It's like your polarity for, you to like actually bring in companies. I don't know if it's jerseys actually, but probably.
It's 100% jerseys.
It's a term that describes the means through which college athletes are allowed to receive financial compensation. NIL refers to the use of athletes' name, image, and likeness through marketing and promotional endeavors.
There you go.
So yeah, what the endeavors and marketing is, it's probably like ads, and it's probably jersey sales, and it's yeah, that's kind of crazy, dude.
So the college technically can sign you.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Right. Because we're going to pay you for your name to be at our college. We're going to pay you $1 million a year. And we get to use your name, jersey, or your name or whatever. And then they probably get money on top of the jersey sales and stuff like that. They're probably working out contracts in that way. But something also weird in football right now was the after exit game interview with Chris Johnson. Rodney Harris was conducting the interview, and basically Rodney Harris is trying to have Chris Jones, thank you, Chris Jones talk shit on Zach Wilson.
Yeah, so I thought it was a little interesting when I saw that on Instagram, because I just saw like a quick reel. And this is after the Chiefs-Jets game on Sunday Night Football. And, Chris Jones is, I would consider him probably the third best player on the Chiefs, right behind Mahomes and then Kelsey.
Yeah,
he's number 3.
Really well-spoken dude. Does a great job.
Seems really smart. Hell of a football player. Big dog out there.
Oh, yeah.
Very well-spoken because, the reporter was trying to get him to, like, talk a bunch of trash.
It's like, yeah, Zach Wilson sucks, right? We can all just agree he's not very good.
Yeah, and he totally kind of flips it on him and is like, well, no, like, I think they've got a lot of good pieces over there, and he's, starting to get his feet underneath them. He's only been playing for 3 weeks now. This is his 3rd year in the league. And it's just so strange to see that, being on national television. Like, you're just supposed to be a reporter. Ask him, like, what he thinks about how his team did, what they did well, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's like leading the witness to... like leading the horse to water here, trying to say something.
Just trying
dumb.
to bait him in,
And he does a great job of kind of like denying it and, switching it up, and does a really great job. I don't know if he was just trying to be buddy with him, like, hey, like, we're both friends. Let's, I know these mics were on national TV in front of us, but he sucks, right?
Let's keep
and to be
profesh.
honest, he looked great. He had a great game. After a game, he kept up with the Chiefs the whole game.
Oh, I was gonna say. I think that was the whole thing. He thought it was like a fluke. Like, where did that come from? We all know he sucks, like, kind of thing. I thought he played better than Mahomes at some points during the game.
He looked great.
Yeah.
I do think he is starting to act like a starting quarterback. He's taking it all in stride. He's got unreal, harsh critics right now. The dude was never going to see the field.
Well, he started. Oh yeah, if
Aaron Rodgers was healthy, he would have never seen the field this year. This was his year to like learn and grow, and possibly be the next guy. And he just got thrown into this whirlwind of I'm in second.
Yeah,
here permanently. No matter what he did in training camp, no matter how hard he played, he was never going to get that starting position.
And they were paying Aaron Rodgers.
And here you go,
$60 million.
Here you go, fourth down, like fourth play in the drive, and he's torn Achilles, out for a year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Even though it looks like he's going to come back sooner than that.
We know the Achilles takes a hot minute, though.
He's claiming he's going to make it back in regular season.
No, there's no way.
He's claiming he's going to play football.
I know. I saw the reports. And he's like, I'm actually like making a way quicker recovery. I'm like, dude, I feel like it takes a minimum of like 8-9 months.
I would agree. If I tore my Achilles, I'm out for 2 years. Like,
catch me not doing anything any more athletic.
Zero. Like, I'm sure yes, a normal human being. But Aaron Rodgers is rubbing like bee pollen on it. and like
Ashawanga.
Yeah, he's like doing like he's like slapping it at night or some weird thing he's doing.
He's got this weird Asian potion shipped straight from Taiwan.
Yeah, he's just rubbing it right on the Achilles, and it smells like shit. But
nano robots are just coming out there and just
it's whatever. He's got some weird stuff going on. But it's just interesting that like a reporter would do that. It just didn't look great. But also kind of brought me into this next thing. Totally. So Trey Turner, like for people who don't know, is a baseball player. He plays on the Philadelphia Nationals now, the Phillies. And he was a Dodger, signed a huge contract, millions of dollars.
I think it was 11-year, $300 million.
Yeah, 11-year, $300 million.
Big,
that sounds right.
Big one.
And of course, when you're getting paid that money, and in Philadelphia, historically, they're awful fans. Some of the hardest fans you can ever imagine. Mm-hmm. They're just historically, they boo their football, their basketball, and their baseball super heavy. They call them the boo birds in Philadelphia for the Eagles. Like, they just boo. And, he was playing awful. He went from batting second in the lineup to eighth. His batting average was 237, which is his lowest of his career. And this is all while booing is happening.
Right. And he was a dynamite player for the Dodgers.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know how long, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah. I mean,
good while.
Was arguably their best player at times.
Hitting over 300 and stealing a ton of bases.
Yeah, he was just a baller. Great shortstop. Unreal. Mm-hmm. Then one of the like super fans makes a video saying, "Hey, if we're at the game today, let's just not boo him. Let's just cheer him. Let's give him a standing O." And sure enough, Philadelphia listened. Everyone gave him a standing O.
Not just for like one at bat, for all of his at bats.
All of his at bats, everything he did, every time he touched the field, like they just started cheering for him. And he immediately, overnight, was better. He went to third best position player in all of baseball in his position. He started batting .328, which is one of his highest of his career after the cheering.
Nuts.
Like overnight, essentially. He put out billboards about like thanking Philadelphia for doing that. He made, now they're one of the best teams in baseball. They have a chance to win the pennant this year. And it's just all so crazy. And I just really kind of showed you, to me, like what like having people cheer for you on your team can do to you instead of like booing you. And it really shows like what having the good people around you really means.
Yeah, totally.
It's totally true. Like, I don't know, like booing somebody.
Yeah, if I would have like put myself into that situation, and it already feels tough when you're screwing up all the time. You don't want to screw up. That's why you're like competing and you want to play for your team. You're already letting your teammates down. You're already letting your fans down. You're already letting yourself down because you're playing shitty. And then like you got to hear just like constant, just a parade of boos and name calling and hate mail. And like, I'm sure, I know for a fact, actually, there's probably death threats.
Oh, for sure.
Over in Philly. I mean, they're all over the place, just for any athletes at that caliber of a level. But why would you like want to play for a team and for a city if you're getting booed, even though you're trying your best? And yeah, maybe there's slumps, whatever, but I wouldn't want to go play for a city that's booing me and I'm getting a bunch of hate mail.
Yeah, like I get it's cool, like they have passion and all that stuff, but at the same time, it's like I need like, I'm very much a guy who needs positive reinforcement.
Right.
I love a good attaboy.
Yeah.
Like that to me motivates me to do better. Like having the confidence for my teammates to like give me confidence helps a lot. If I'm like,
I agree. I'm the same way. I get very deflated.
Yeah.
I get already beat myself up. I kind of already doubt myself at times. I don't need, hundreds of other people doing that for me too.
Right.
And so it's pretty crazy because, you were mentioning that this could potentially change the way that fan bases are looking at, I'm sure it's maybe brought to light a little bit more of the mental health side of the stuff that's been going on, but certainly that's like the positive self-talk. It might change how fans direct messages towards players going through good or bad times.
I think you might see a huge shift in Philadelphia fandom. I bet you they're going to start cheering their players that they really want prospecting more. They're going to cheer their teams on more support, because the booing isn't helping. I get it's going to keep happening. That's just the type of fans of people they are. And I don't want that to stop. I love the booing. At times, I find it very necessary, especially for other teams or all that other stuff. And I just find that if you have a rookie or somebody on your team that is really struggling, booing him isn't going to help anything. You're not going to breed confidence in him as a fan group and his teammates if you're booing. If you're Zach Wilson, being booed by the Jets isn't helping anyone.
Right.
And so I feel like it's just going to maybe shift up the sports scene a bit.
I think it might. Because you think about all these guys that just get buried under this stuff. And Zach Wilson's one of those guys, too. He gets so much crap. Same with, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones gets so much crap, and they play for these massive teams.
Right.
And,
huge contracts. And I think it's going to keep happening. People are always going to give people crap. It's just part of it, and some of it's deserved, and I get that. But, the constant, booing isn't going to help your team. Sure, do it for a while, cheer for your man, but I think it is going to shift Philadelphia's culture a little bit. They'll be pretty.
It might. I think it might.
It really might. But someone who I wanted to boo all weekend last week was a USA team at the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, I'm still booing them. It was piss poor.
Yeah. We just never showed up.
It was awful, dude. Just awful.
Abysmal the whole way through.
It didn't look like we were fired up, ready to play. We didn't have any fire, energy,
gas.
We had, apparently Zach Johnson told the world that we were battling a little bit of a bug or a little congestion bug. And that's maybe why they were coming out a little flat. I was like, okay, well, just pop some Dayquil in there and let's go compete. Come on now.
Yeah,
we've got a
it's not an excuse. I think he kind of
sinus infection.
I can say it was kind of an excuse. I don't remember the exact end score. Do you remember it?
I don't, but I can look it up right over here.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It turned out to be closer than it was
because which is Sunday, which is typical for USA to do. We're just better Sunday golfers than they are. But we just came out, lost all 4 matches, the morning pairing. I think we won 1 because of draws the next. Just all the way through. I
thought we were, the Friday round was really deflating because the Friday round we came out in the morning, went 0 for 4. But then we had the opportunity to get 3 points in the afternoon and make it 5-3. And Europe just shut the door right on our faces.
Yeah, just made eagle putts, just
long birdie putts. They on the 18th hole alone, they made a 1.5 point switch around.
And once that happens, and you go 5-3 after day 1, I believe, that changes your whole momentum of your Ryder Cup. After that happened, it was pretty much GG from there.
Yeah, final score in total was 16.5 to 11.5.
Great. Not the worst blowout ever. So we beat them there. Last Ryder Cup, we had the biggest margin of victory in the history of the Ryder Cup.
Do you remember what that one was?
It was 19-6.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was just they had nobody good. They had players that just were they were so out of their prime. And their young players just weren't on the same scale as the rest of our field, where, Rory McIlroy was their best player, and he wasn't even in the top 10 at the world at the time.
Yeah, he was a little out of form. He was working on a couple things.
He was working like our whole team was. We don't need to get into individual games and individual matches unless something pops up. My biggest takeaway from it, Max Homa is an absolute baller. If he wasn't iffy on that, round... wow. Like, so glad he came part of our team here.
He was balling. Yeah, he was balling. And he also put forth a little bit of fire as well and passion. And that was great. And people rallied behind that. So I wanted, I second that. I wanted to shout him out as well.
Who would you like from Europe? Who was your star performer for Europe?
I thought it was Victor Hovland.
I mean, he looked unreal.
Yeah, he was unbelievable.
As soon as he chipped in on the hole one off the green.
Untouchable.
Right.
I mean, then you also have to shout out Rory because he went 4-1. Won 4 points for them, was the highest point scorer. He won 4 matches, dude. That's ridiculous. And you're playing all 5 matches?
Yeah, he played everything.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's so great for Rory. I mean, I love that European side. It's hard for me not to cheer for them. We got Ludwig Aber playing as well. Fun little tangent here. What a story for Ludwig when they come out with the documentary. He's one of the best golfers of all time. And he went to the Ryder Cup and absolutely performed.
Yeah, and people were raving about him too.
He absolutely performed. He won both of his foursome matchups.
Yeah.
0-1 in 4-ball. And he went 2-2 overall. And he played against Brooks Koepka the final day. Like, they threw him against one of the best players on US. Who he was playing very well for us.
Totally.
For me, like, the really disappointing stars in this are Jordan Spieth and Scottie Scheffler. You don't expect that from Jordan. Or you kind of do every once in a while. It feels like he's been going through these slumps on and off for a hot minute.
It's just not the course to bring him out at. I'm sorry. He's just a wild golfer, and he's just always, always, always in the cabbage. And that cabbage was thick over there.
A thick boy cabbage.
Yeah, dude.
And we love being in the cabbage out here, but when you're playing golf and you're playing that level, like, you could not. If you're in the thick stuff, no matter where you at, basically, unless you're greenside, you're not getting greenside.
I love
Period.
I'm with you. I love Jordan. Jordan's a great golfer. Always ride for him. But you or I could have been out there playing in his position.
He didn't look very great.
Put me in in a foursomes or 4-ball, and I swear to you, dude, it was like on 12 of the 18 holes, he picked up his ball at some points during the round. I don't know what he shot. It seemed like it just threw viewership eyes. Maybe I was being a little harsh because I was trying to pull for the boys and I was getting a little upset that we just weren't bringing it.
Right.
But our best duo, Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas, were getting their asses kicked. And Jordan Spieth was basically just taking himself out of the hole, and it was just JT playing against 2 other guys. Not even their best. They're better. They're better. I mean, they're all balling out, though.
Right. I think he lost to Shane Lowry and somebody else.
And Sepp Straka.
Yeah, one of the days. That's tough. But, the really shocking one for me is Scottie Scheffler. Scottie Scheffler coming into this was the golfer's number 1 overall. Has been from tee to almost to green, the best player on tour, statistically.
Yeah. No, he did. He did put up the best tee to green strokes gained in the ShotLink era, whatever they call it, in history.
Yeah, and just can't putt.
And he also he almost broke or tied Tiger Woods' average score on the PGA Tour per round. His average score was 67.85.
And he just couldn't come out and win anything.
Which is crazy, dude. Crazy.
I mean, got 2 draws the whole tournament.
People said that he had the best or the closest or best ball striking season than, compared to 2000 Tiger.
That's crazy. When you come in,
it's those 2 players that have the best ball striking.
And if you
seasons.
think about that, who choked harder, Jordan Spieth or Scottie Scheffler?
It looked like Scotty, dude. He couldn't do anything. He also lost 9-7 with Brooks.
Yeah, you can't lose 9-7.
You lost 9-7.
That's crazy. And now, granted, they were on fire, but still 9-7.
I don't give a damn. You can't
Brooks Koepka and Scottie Scheffler.
I don't give a damn. You can't make a combined 4 birdies together. At some point.
Yeah, Brooks Koepka and Scottie Scheffler on any other course on any other tournament would wipe the floor with basically, besides Victor Hovland, wrong.
Crazy, dude. Crazy when I saw that.
It was just such a disappointing Ryder Cup. I love, people were talking about should course designers still be designing courses to favor teams? Yes. That does 100% need to keep happening.
They also need to, they can choose whatever course that they want to play in. I feel like that should still happen for sure.
Because it would help mitigate the big blowouts like this. But USA made a Ryder Cup. If you're worried about Europe, I feel like Europe has the bodies now. Like they're a much better team overall than they were to the prior Ryder Cup. Like I feel like that wouldn't happen now if you brought those guys to Whistling Straits. We would probably still win because of our distance at the time. And every one of our players was just playing out of their minds. But
it would be a much closer battle.
It would be
totally.
You
got Victor Hovland that's playing at an unbelievable level. You have a lot of young rising stars, and then you got a couple of veterans in there that are just what you're going to get from.
And it's just surprising that people want to change anything with this. Really, also the whole pay thing because these players don't get paid.
What's your thought on that?
They shouldn't get paid.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care if how much do you think they're really going to pay you? They're not going to pay you millions.
They're going to pay you $250,000. Yeah, I think that's pretty fair.
I'm sure,
but at the same, dude, it's for 3 days of golf. Get your ass over to Rome.
I'm sure it's all comped. Everything there is comped.
Hop on a private flight.
Right.
Go to your crazy suite. Go play at an immaculate golf course with all the prestige that guys are dying to be on, and you're gonna complain about not getting paid for 3 days of golf.
Really get over it. Really, truly get over it.
I don't know. It's not me, but I'm taking the side with you. Get over it. You make $10 million
These are top of the best golfers, and it's not. These guys aren't hurting for money. These are the best golfers in America that we want to bring along.
I heard you also get a $200,000 donation to a charity of your choice
in your tax write-off
in your name.
Right.
It's still a donation. That's a form of payment in a way, but it's a form of giving back. Yes, it's a tax write-off for sure, but it's better than nothing. I guess. I don't know.
Then you go on vacation in Rome afterwards with your family?
Yeah, Patrick Cantley got married, I don't know, probably in Rome right after that.
Not that tough.
Yeah, it's really not.
I mean, and it's more. This should be more.
Put on the U.S. hat.
Yeah. Unless it doesn't fit.
Buddy, it fits. You're telling me they can't get a hat for Patrick Cantley? Rory did it 2 years ago. Rory's got an insanely small head. I know he did that for the Ryder Cup, but it was not for that reason.
Right.
Put on the hat. Stop complaining. And then it started becoming a thing. And I don't know. There's lots of rumors about this, but I feel like if you're going to come to this event, it is what it is. They're not going to change it. I hope they don't change it. It kind of feels like a camaraderie, college, truly for your country. I know the PGA Tour and commercial and companies are benefiting from this, but go out there and compete. Stop complaining about money.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're not. Now, are you having to pay for your caddy to get out there? Are you having to pay for you to get out there? What extra expenses are you paying for? Then, okay, I can understand wanting some money or a stipend for that type of stuff to be covered. But I assume the Ryder Cup covers every single aspect of it.
Let's put it this way. That's a golf trip for us. So if we had $10 million in our pocket, are we going to go play in the Ryder Cup and pay for everything out of pocket?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. It's not even... you're fine. I get it. I'm sure your sponsors would even help get you out there if you were really worried about it that much. But to me, it just doesn't. You don't need to worry about it.
That's exactly my point.
Right.
What are we doing here? I thought it was kind of ridiculous. It started to get under my skin a little bit towards the end there because it started becoming such a big thing. I was like, dude, this is ridiculous. Now there's like 4 guys on the team that don't have hats on, and they're like taunting, and like it's getting a little heated out there. Tensions are flying high.
Yeah, but that's part of it. Like, you think the American fans in New York are going to be any nicer?
No, definitely not.
Like,
they're going to be ruthless.
They're going to be ruthless. And I get it, like these European players can also be very annoying, and I'm sure they're ruthless. They're also probably extremely hard to understand when they're yelling at you anyways, because their accents are all fucking crazy
a bunch
over
of
there.
Marbles in their mouth over there.
Yeah, a bunch of marble mouths yelling at you. I just don't get it. Like, why do you need this money? Like, they
get paid for the President's Cup, though.
Right.
But yeah, I'm with you. I don't know. I thought it was.
I'm sure they will start to pay them.
I thought it was quite silly.
But to me, it just doesn't make any sense. And another thing, the last little story I want to talk about is Joe LaCava out there getting chippy with Rory. We didn't really talk about you and I very much. The long and the short of it is they're making fun of a guy who we're talking about who doesn't wear a hat because of money or because it's whatever, too big. And his caddy, they're getting booed the whole time. They're chanting about the hat. And on the 18th hole, Patrick Cantlay makes a bomb of a putt to win the match for them on the 18th hole, to breathe life back into the USA. Was such a huge hole and a huge win that there was a little glimmer of hope that we might have pulled it back. And Joe LaCava and a bunch of USA guys take off their hat and start waving it around. Joe LaCava is a caddy. He's on the green, and he's kind of ish next to Rory. And he kind of walks near Rory. Rory's not really by his ball at this point.
Right.
He's not even really like next to it or lining it up or anything. He's like basically on the right, about to walk to his ball to start doing that. And Joe kind of gets in his face by just like waving the hat. Rory says something to him, and it becomes a huge deal in golf, which is so typical for golf.
There's any drama, people are clinging on to that.
Right. Like, if there's any sort of weirdness to golf, then like the insults and the behavior is such a big thing, a big part of it. And Rory took offense to it, and I guess, and Joe LaCava, to me, like a little out of hand. You can't really walk after a player when he's playing.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really do that. The initial reaction with Rory saying something to him and him still waving the hat, zero issue with that. Could not give a shit. Like, that's totally fine. It's the walk at him after.
Totally.
That is no good. And I understand that it's bad business. It's bad, like, move. But at the time, I didn't really give a shit. Kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah, we needed something.
If the only person who was going to bring a fire was a caddy.
Thank God a caddy does.
Right. Walks after Rory. Rory misses the putt. I mean, I don't know how you're supposed to make it after that. And
just up until that point, you were right. There was absolutely zero life left in US.
They needed to win that point.
And then we needed a little chippiness and fire. And so, if that's the biggest thing about golf, then whatever. We just need to be a little tougher skin in that situation.
For sure. I think he goes birdie, birdie, birdie to win it. He pulls it back 16, 17, 18. I think Patrick Cantlay alone birdies all three.
Yeah.
Because Wyndham Clark can't put a ball on the field. And Wyndham Clark, exactly what I thought was going to happen. Wyndham Clark and Brian Hartman just didn't bring enough X factor.
Oh, it was tough. The Wyndham Clark situation, beautiful drives on 18, and then just whacking a 4-iron 60 yards right of the green. And then almost hitting his chip shot into the water and then chipping and then missing a putt for 6. And I'm like, bro, you were 245 out.
Right.
On a par 5 and you take bogey? That's something that I would do.
Right. That's tough. But after it, Roy gets, Joe LaCava and Roy and a bunch of U.S. or European players talk about it. And afterwards, Rory McIlroy is screaming at Bones, another caddy, at the end of it. And I thought that was going to change tides for the Europe versus USA. I thought USA had a better opportunity now that Rory was that fired up. Because I didn't think Rory had the composure or the fire to bring that back down. He always seems like a very composed player to me. He doesn't seem like he plays with that grit like Tiger would. If that happened to Tiger, you might as well kiss your tournament goodbye.
Right, it's a rap, dog.
Yeah.
That's it.
If a caddy's walking after Tiger and Tiger's that heated after the match, screaming at somebody like that.
That's where he comes back and wins 9 and 8 the next day.
Yeah. Like, I didn't think Rory was that guy. But sure enough, proved me wrong and came out and played great. Europe played great. They all got it done, and congratulations to them. I mean, hold the biggest L still in the whole
tournament itself. I think going over to New York, going to Bethpage Black, I think that's going to be really cool. That's going to be a goal of ours to go to one of these Ryder Cups. But at this next one, who do you want to see captain the team? Because I want to hear your thoughts on your thoughts on Zach Johnson as well.
And overall, I don't know how much captains really make a difference in these types of things. If I was a captain, a lot of it would just be me asking who wants to play with who. And I think the USA players need to get away from that. I think Europe did a really good job of doing Moneyball, essentially. And I think we need to get to more Moneyball situations.
You don't think you've been coaching the team for a year and a half? Or you're working on stuff for a year and a half. You don't think they have like a message? I think they've got like a message, what they're trying to do. I feel like it's a little bit more than just like selecting matchups.
Okay, so they're more in depth than He Did Awful. I think it's the lineups were garbage. We don't get to know who we're playing against, but I thought the pairings were awful. It should be very much Moneyball.
Agreed.
For me, for the most part.
If you have Wyndham Clark playing with, another crazy long hitter,
why are we doing that?
That doesn't make any sense. Let's pair him with Ricky Fowler.
Yeah, who can hit 240 to a green.
Mm-hmm. And make some putts potentially.
Right. And also, we didn't have any distance off the tee. We went from a team that was all distance off the tee to a team that kind of couldn't keep up distance with Rory or Rahm. Scotty Scheffler and Brooks Koepka are our biggest drivers with Wyndham Clark, maybe.
Yeah.
Ludwig Aberg probably just goes just as far as Brooks and Scotty.
Easy.
Rory goes farther than anybody else. Rahm goes farther than Scotty and Brooks and Wyndham.
And just accurate, too.
Like, we had no driving distance.
Yeah, it was tough.
If that's the case, why are we not... Right, so we play Whistling Straits. It should be all bomb and gouge for us. We go back to Bethpage Black. We better find some big ball hitters in the U.S. You need Cameron Champ next year to come in.
No, we're not taking Cameron Champ. I love it.
We got to bring... He was in talks of making it.
Maybe you're thinking of Cameron Young.
Cameron Young, thank you.
Okay, I'm like Cameron Champ.
No, Cameron Young.
He was outside the 150 now.
Cameron Young.
Yeah.
Bring Cameron Young.
Yeah.
Bring some long boys. That's what we do. Then we go to Europe. Let's find some boys who can find some fairways and hit some greens. Mm-hmm. Let's start hitting people who can actually drive the ball. And I get a lot of it you can't choose. I think was Jordan Spieth a team pick?
Yeah, he was a captain's pick.
Tough.
Yeah, it's so brutal.
And the buddy thing I get works too really well. It's a great concept, but if we're just struggling to get things going, you gotta switch it up. Now we gotta go Moneyball.
I agree.
Brooks Koepka is not playing with Scotty Scheffler. Brooks Koepka should be playing with Wyndham Clark, or someone more temperament level to him. Brian Harman, he should be playing with Patrick Cantlay. I think you used to actually play with Patrick Cantlay, and that should have been what the matchup was. I would have put...
Yeah, we got to... the matchups that we had out there, we didn't switch it up fast enough. It just wasn't really clicking. So I really hope that we can maybe switch it up for the captain's pick. I wish we could maybe vote for it. You can push guys to do it. I don't know how that actually works. Would love to see Tiger Woods rejuvenate them, or maybe not this time, but when we're going over to Europe, put Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods over at Europe would be great. A captain for us locally this year. Freddie Couples.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Freddie would be great at Bethpage. I don't know. That would be like the only guy I can really think of, but I think he's done it before. I'm sure he has.
Can you not do it twice?
Maybe you can. I don't know. I mean, it's not going to be Zach Johnson again. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I don't think so, dude.
That was tough.
We also didn't train. We also just took a month and a half off.
Right.
From
And people
after
didn't even
season.
show up for the practice round.
Yeah.
Some people didn't show up for the practice round. Like, I get it. You don't want to, like, if you don't want to do it, you want to get paid. You don't want to do the practice round.
Don't come.
Don't come. Say no.
Say no to the golf trip.
And that's fine.
That's fine. I get it.
Like, you don't want to do that? Great. Like, who cares? Like,
Let's get a big dog in there that wants to be there and like train and
wants to be here.
And you know, they take a lot of they play a lot during the season. They're traveling, they're swinging, they need their body to heal. So once they're done, it's like, you know, a great relief. But like, can we like take a week off and then like train for another 3 weeks to ramp back up for the Ryder Cup again? It's a big deal.
Well, I would just don't understand. If you don't want to do it, just don't do it overall. Anyways, nice job, Europe. Let's get into the cabbage here a bit, buddy. A little bit of our weekends. We hit up a bar, the Wayfarer, went to a little 90s night.
What a great spot that place is.
It's just really special.
That's why the voice is still hearing, sounding a little scratchy.
Raspy?
Yeah, a little raspy.
The boys got a
these
little
days.
turn up. It was a good time. It always is. This, you know, Blink-182 covers and Sync. It's all of it. It's a great band.
It's all what you want.
It's a great
in
band.
In a tiny
too.
little venue. Great band.
They do the singer's awesome. They do a really good job.
Guitar soloist is just like the guitarist is going vertical on this thing, playing above his head.
Yeah, he's
saxophone player,
hammering
keyboards.
It's great. You're hammered. They rock. You get back and you're just cross-eyed at the end. Most of the times you come back from one of these events. And it's awesome. It's nice to blow off a little steam. I think you really got to be in the mood for it.
You do.
You can't really manufacture that vibe. You kind of have to be like, it's got to be a vibe where you all haven't hung out in a while. You haven't gotten drunk in a while. It's time to, you know, work's been hard. Turn it up.
I let the demons loose that night on Friday.
You really did, my friend.
It was great.
That was
a lot of fun. That place is great. I mean, it's obscenely loud. It's almost like illegal loud. It has to be.
I know. It gets very loud in there.
You can't hear a single word other than the band. I'm screaming in your ear. You're like, I can't hear you.
Then until you leave that little section and you're fine.
Then you're good. And so that's why it's like a perfect bar. Cheap, or the drinks, pretty cheap.
Right.
I think we got like, you know, it was like 9 drinks in total because we were covering cons with tip, like $75-$80.
It's pretty nice.
You'd be hard pressed to find any place with those prices right there.
And the drinks are very strong.
Very strong drinks.
The atmosphere is great.
$10 cover. That's it.
And you go have yourself an absolute time. You come out cross-eyed and enjoy yourself. A little highlight before we get to let's get to a little bit of the low light here. Car got broken into.
Yeah, that's brutal.
For the second time, I found out.
What?
Yeah, so
second time.
I drive
here.
Yeah, I guess so. I drive my dad's old truck. The truck's not valuable by any means, but I guess the parts are, and it's a very easy car to jack and steal. So it's a very popular car for that. Went to my car, was just walking, keeping my head down like I normally do. And then I saw some glass on the floor. Thought, oh, that's weird. Looks like a beer glass or a bar glass. Mm-hmm. No big deal, right? Open my door, and a bunch of glass falls out.
Oh, shit, dude.
And it's everywhere now. I'm looking down like, oh, my God. It's everywhere.
In the car as well?
In the car.
Yeah. God damn it.
And I don't keep anything in this car. It's empty. It's an empty car.
Thank God. Because, I keep my sticks in the car.
Right. Yeah. So empty car. And nothing is taken. The stereo's still in it. Nothing wrong with the ignition. To me, it seems like it was broken into by a kid. Had to do a police report based on my HOA's recommendation because they're not going to help me in any sort of way at all. And yeah, man, I think just a kid came by with a tool and just smashed it. That's my only guess. But now I think someone actually jacked it because I walked to the guy to replace my window, and my lock on my driver's side door is punched in. And I thought maybe it was just an older car. I mean, my dad had it that way for a long time because people can get in it certain ways. I don't know. But it was punched in fully. And that's another time someone trying to jack your car. So it's happened to me twice. I just didn't notice it the first time because I thought that was just like a thing.
So the first time he was punching in your lock. And then the second time is like the window break.
The window. So he punched my lock months ago.
Because you noticed it months ago, right?
I noticed it months ago, but I thought, oh, weird. Like maybe I just never really noticed.
That's not my car. Right. That's so strange.
So I mean, I thought my dad's car was that way. I just kind of got it. So I don't know for a fact. And then sure as shit, like months ago, a couple weeks or last week.
That's pretty fucked up.
Come back and my window smashed. So that was shitty. And just, you know what?
Are you going to park the car in the garage now?
No.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
That's it. I'm just going to park it farther down by like the homes over there.
Okay.
Instead of like being closer to the exit, which is, sucks. But what was great that came of it? Like I was bummed and it pissed me off for sure. But like at the end of the day, the cops aren't going to catch the dude ever.
Right.
Like how is that ever going to happen? We have no cameras in our complex at all. So no way of seeing who walks in or out. And
you want to talk about just straight robbery in broad daylight is HOA companies.
Oh, yeah. I called them and I actually, called them 3 times, left 3 voicemails to my board of my HOA. Not my board, but to my HOA vendor that like processes the payments and does like all the back paperwork and
That's
stuff.
all they do. They're just raking in money every month.
Right.
And they're just busy counting it back there. And
they're just busy bending me over.
Dude,
it's taking ridiculous. All of our money.
Oh, sorry, we're a little busy. We can't take your 4th call.
Right. So they basically just do the back end paperwork, and that's it. And called them 3 times, left 3 separate voicemails. She finally got back to me yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are we doing? I called you like Wednesday, Friday, and like Saturday, and
what were you even trying to connect with her about? Something super simple?
I didn't know, like, one, do I need to report this? I don't know. I've never had my car window broken.
Sure.
Like, do other people know?
People might want to know as well.
Like, and so I'm just trying to figure out, like, do they have cameras? Are there any cameras anywhere I don't know about? Sure as shit, like, no, I don't. And she was like, basically all you can really do is grab your ankles and pull your pants down because that's what we're going to do here to you. And I'm like, cool, that's fine. And I just was like, why? I've been in the real estate industry for a long time. I have family in it still. My wife's in it. We got like lawyers who do it. And I'm like, why are we paying $400 for a community where there's no like real nice amenities?
And there's maybe it's property tax. I don't know. Maybe I just don't know about it, but what are they doing? There's also no cameras.
Right.
It's not like they've got a freaking, a Japanese garden that you can like walk through with koi fish and like
nothing where $400 a month should be worth it for like 80 units.
Dude, you're thinking about 80 units and $400 dude, a month, and you're like, dude, where is this cash going?
Right.
And I can't even like get a hold of you. Like I'm trying to call you for 4 days.
Right. And I was like, how is this happening? And she's like, I understand. I'm like, I know this is a lot of money for an HOA. I know new home communities are cheaper than what we're paying. And
so what are we paying for?
Yeah. And she's like, well, you get your budget in November and you could see it, but I could tell you a lot of it is maintenance because your community is old.
$32,000 in maintenance a month?
$32,000. And I'm guessing there's only 80 units. And I bet you there's people who pay more in HOA fees because they have 3-bedroom units. And I bet you there's people who pay slightly less HOA because they have like 1-bedroom units.
Still, dude, I think there's more than 80 units in here.
I would agree.
but I don't know.
I rounded down. I bet you were closer to like $100, maybe more.
Crazy, dude.
And and she's like, oh, and you park outside your garage at your own risk. And I just was like, at my own risk. It's my house.
Right. Like, what the hell?
I'm not parking on the street. Like,
I'm in my community.
Right. There should be a gate. It should not be at my own risk. I get it. Like, if my neighbor breaks my car, that's tough. But like, this is like gotta be somebody.
It's not a neighbor. It's not a neighbor. And also, if the HOA is so on it, they're also just towing cars when I'm parking here without a freaking pass.
Right. Like we got a guy who can tow cars, no problem.
In 2 hours, but we can't get a couple cameras on the
right.
On the
I got
parking spots.
A parking monitor running around here at 11 o'clock at night who does nothing besides just tow cars. And anyways, that sucked. And I just, my cousin gave me a call. He had these like club level seats for free for an Angels game.
Oh, nice.
Same night it happened. I'm like, normally, like, what would I do? Should I just dwell on this and sit here? Or should Madison and I wasn't going to go get groceries. I wasn't going to make dinner. So I might as well go get dinner at the ballpark. And we just took off and went to the Angel game, and it was great.
There you go. That's a little silver lining right there, baby. That's a little last second move.
You know what? Like,
that doesn't sound like you.
No, it wasn't very me. If it would
brought on by the car breaking in, you're like, I got to turn this around a little bit.
Kind of, and also like I would have gotten groceries that day, but didn't have the opportunity.
You were going to be productive when you were trying to be. So, okay.
Yeah, so it kind of worked out, and certain things opened up, and it was a great time. But the highlight is you came over this weekend on Sunday, and the boys have been craving chicken wings, and we can't, for the love of us, find a good chicken wing anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm looking high and low. They're super expensive. They all taste kind of similar. They're not crispy. They're just eh.
And we came in there. We fumbled around a little bit, but we ended up putting our foot in it.
Yeah.
The last couple batches, dude.
I think the chicken like tenders we ended up making tenders.
Those are bomb.
Fire.
Really bomb.
Really good. Then we ended up frying off our first batch of, I don't know how many wings we made.
It was 60? A lot. It was a lot of wings. It was about, in total, after the other 2 packages where our moms went to the grocery store real quick and grabbed more, that was about 9 pounds of chicken wings.
Wow. I owe you money still. Don't let me forget. 9 pounds of chicken wings.
Yeah, dude. We were flying through those things.
And we just did it really simple. We just salted it, and then it was just frying it. Like ourselves.
That's it. Just frying it in there. You brought over your Dutch oven, which was clutch, a gallon of canola oil, as many chicken wings. Dude, I mean, we had so many chicken wings. It fed like 15 people.
It would be so easy if it was just me, you, like our girls, and Chris and Court, and we like actually wanted to like pay attention to the football game and stuff like that, and what was really going on. It would have been one of the easiest meals we've ever made for a group of people.
Can we talk about the ranch that we made as well?
Yeah, homemade ranch.
Holy
your boys went in.
Fuck. The homemade ranch, bro.
The homemade ranch was really different. It was super great.
It's so easy.
We made lemon pepper wets.
Yeah, those were great.
And we made buffalo sauce that was my favorite. I agree, it could have been a little hotter, but we got it up to the right temp. First batch of wings, perfectly cooked, nice, like tender meat. Not crunchy.
Yeah, no char.
But
which
was fine. It was still a great wing. I was going to be like, this is great. I'm not worried about it. It's awesome. But sure enough, we kind of checked it. You kind of mentioned something. Like, we both kind of like, I don't think it's just getting hot enough. And we figured it out. It definitely wasn't. Cranked that thing up. Did 3 batch fries on some wings. And they came out.
A triple fry batch of chicken wings. Dude.
Came out crispy.
Yeah.
Toss that with some, buffalo sauce, making my mouth water, and a gallon of ranch on those things.
A little MSG in there too.
Oh, we bought MSG. I have a bag of MSG now.
Don't know what I'm going to do with it, but
I think if I'm just going to make something really shitty,
Asian food for sure.
Right, something really shitty. I want to just add a little something to. maybe sprinkle it on like, I don't know, a sauce I'm making.
Fuck it, dude. Throw it on some steak, maybe.
Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Just, I'm going to figure out some stuff.
I'm for sure going to experiment with it.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
It just comes naturally, but it was a blast. It was super fun to hang out with everybody. It was it just felt like a really great time. The vibe of the place was really rocking at my mom's house.
It was buzzing. For sure. And your mom had the full spread out with the donuts and the bagels when we got there. Something special about a cream cheese bagel, dude. I don't know what it is.
I want to do I do want to do a separate Sunday where we do wings again.
Would love to.
Just like at a very small, we can get the bagels that, you know, from Boil and Bake.
Yes, Boil and Bake.
Yeah,
that'll change your life, bro.
We'll have to do that because it's one of these times where we kind of just go back and forth, make it super easy for ourselves. Like, we probably should just do it here because we can avoid the kitchen at all costs after the end of it. But it was a blast, super fun. I can't wait to do something like that with you again soon. Probably the bachelor party.
It's always fun cooking. I love it. If we want to go and cook something, we always have a good time and enjoy doing it.
Well, you and I think I really enjoy doing it with you because I'm not doing all of the work.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we're very equal. Like, let's just salt this, salt that. We understand, you know, the timing of a couple certain things when you need to start to get things going. What's the priority here? You know, we kind of we're doing that in our everyday lives.
We're really good at cutting and cooking and doing multiple things. So one person might be cutting, the other person's cleaning.
It's fun doing it together.
We get through it pretty fast, and it's always really, really good.
It's also nice when you got like it's pretty bomb. We never not dime something. If we go for it, we go to execute it to to its fullest.
What's the best thing you think we've ever made?
That's so tough. Dude, I think in-depth wise, but not taste-wise, the meal that we had for my bachelor party.
Yeah, it was fire.
Because Zach had the mac and cheese, and then we came through with like a massive like prime rib, and we made like a crazy jus with the drippings and like
it was pretty fire.
It was pretty bomb. Then we made like a horseradish mayo.
At that point, though, like we were just feeling so. It was like what, day 5 of the bachelor party?
It was so much work. It was a lot of work. Yeah,
but it was fire. I really enjoyed it. I would have done it again, and maybe not been just absolutely trashed hammered while doing it.
The one that I do love is the California
burritos.
Yes, the surf and turf, or like just the California burritos that we made down in San Diego at my aunt and uncle's house.
That was a lot. For whatever reason,
slapped.
It was really good. We do Mexican food, you and I, very well.
Really well. That's my biggest strength for sure.
Right, for just a couple of gringos who are heading to Mexican food. We do a great job.
I think we just have the ingredients down here for it too.
Right. It's just we've been eating it our whole lives. We just know it really well.
Yeah.
We do wings really well.
Yeah, we do. People were raving about those wings.
Yeah. The people really like the lemon pepper. I
liked them.
I didn't think it was that game changer. I personally like the buffalo more.
I like the buffalo too. I was a buffalo guy. I think you and I were the only ones on the buffalo train. I think maybe it was a little bit on the salty side. I thought maybe that was...
For sure. It was.
That was it. That was the only thing.
I didn't salt it.
I didn't salt it really either. I just put a little MSG in there.
I made a buffalo sauce a while back.
I put like a pinch.
Yeah, I made a buffalo sauce with Mikey a while back that was absolutely fire. So maybe I'll have to try making that again. And the lemon pepper, I think I want to make my own lemon pepper next time. Because I think the lemon pepper had too much salt in it, and it made it a little salty. But I ended up kind of remixing it on my own. Did some garlic in there. It's typically not supposed to be in it. And
it was just lemon, pepper, garlic.
Yeah.
And butter.
I mean, it's not going to be wrong. They're like, what's in it? I'm like, legitimately butter, garlic, and lemon pepper, and a sprinkle of MSG.
And people were just losing it. Well, it was also the triple fry. When we got the wings, the cook on the wings down, that was pretty special. That was good stuff.
Good stuff. I can't wait to do it again. Now for everybody's favorite segment to round off the podcast here. The good old fade us
Come over
segment.
and catch some L's with us, dude.
Yeah. Don't catch L's with us. Bet us opposite of us and you'll win money.
Yep.
So we went 0-2 last week. We went Green Bay to win. They lost. Romeo Dobbs over yards. I forget the exact yards he hit. And then I forget who else we bet on. He didn't hit. So it was a parlay. They went
Garbage
0-2.
fest, bro.
I think we're like 1-10 right now.
We have a record of 1-10. That is correct.
It's really tough.
Yeah, it sticks with me.
Yeah, we need to start turning this around.
It's so bad.
But for your guys' free week this week for your Thursday night football, it's Washington Commanders versus the Bears. Not a great game, obviously. It's going to be hard to watch, but we're going to do it anyways.
I felt like we took this, half this podcast. We're talking trash on Chicago right now.
I mean, they're trash.
They're so bad.
They're the worst organization in sports right now.
It's awful.
Any sport. They're the worst organization.
Yeah, it's awful. They're the laughing stock of the NFL at the moment.
I mean, and the NBA.
Yeah, it's
and
bad.
the NHL.
It's
just,
bad.
They're really, really trashy. So we're not going to touch them with money. We're going to go opposite. We're going to do a little parlay. We're going to go Washington with the win, and we're going to bet the under of 44 points. I believe you put $10 on that bet. It's plus 145 odds. I think you win like 20 or 25.
I thought it was 10 to win like 18 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
10 to win 18 maybe.
Yeah.
It's not much, but it's some action. Maybe a winner for you. Make the boys come back. We might come back 2-10. Be real fire.
I really hope. Selfishly, you guys are fading over there, but selfishly, boys got to get a dub.
We boys got to start winning.
You guys
some
are
cash.
cashing in too much. I know.
Yeah, no more winning for you guys. All right, buddy. Well, after the Fadem podcast, you got anything for the Fadem segment? You got anything for the people?
Nah, dude. Let's wrap this puppy up.
Yeah, we gotta go watch some TV and call ourselves a night here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, comment, subscribe. We're on all major listening platforms. We're soon coming out with a website. There will soon be merch. There will soon be video. These are in the works, so stick with us. Shout out to Jake and Devin for helping us out with our podcast. You guys, we couldn't do it without you. Just a reminder, keep swinging.